A witch kneels at the blade on Christmas Day, and with her last words, she curses a bloodline. Centuries later in snowbound Strickfield, a college romance ignites too fast. Dreams turn into warnings, and a Christmas Eve wedding rings like a trap. The Hellweaver is listening, and she wants what was promised.
How did you get in here?
Ho, ho, ho. What's that? You want to be scared? Come with me. This is Weekly Spooky.
Hello, my spookies. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for a little spooky in your weekly. I'm your host and narrator, Enrique Couto, and well, there's actually been spooky every day in December, and I hope you've been enjoying it as much as I have. Nothing quite brings me happiness like spinning a scary story, especially on the backdrop of a beautiful, peaceful, colorful holiday season. Tonight's story may sound like it belongs on the Hallmark Channel, but don't you worry. Don't judge a gift by its wrapping paper. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you all so much for joining me on Weekly Spooky and allowing me to be a part of your holiday season. Make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow we drop yet another story, and this time it's a novella featuring the return of a certain angel of death. So, you won't want to miss it. And if you love what we do here at Weekly Spooky and want to support us, we'd certainly appreciate it. Head to weeklyspooky.com/join. For as little as $1 a month, you get 2 bonus shows every single month and over 5 years of exclusive creepypasta readings and audiobooks at weeklyspooky.com/join. And on Friday, I'll be returning on Cutting Deep into Horror, talking about a ghostly, wintry holiday horror film called Dead End. So don't miss that either. And on Saturday, we have one more massive compilation of Christmas horrors for you to enjoy, whether you're traveling, doing housework, wrapping presents, or anything and everything in between, because now is the time when the season has its foot heavy on the pedal. And we're here to keep it spooky. Now, as for tonight, what if a witch's last words on Christmas Day did not die with her, but echoed through the snow for centuries, waiting for the right couple to collide? What if the person you can't stop thinking about isn't fate at all, just a trap with a heartbeat? And what if the closer you get to Christmas, the closer something ancient gets to you? If you're ready for a winter romance where the vows are real, but the love might not be, then listen close and bundle up, because it's cold out there. A Christmas Romance by Rob Fields. The Middle Ages. Muriel Arkham was being taken through her village by 2 guards on Christmas Day. The people stood along the snowy dirt streets, many of them chanting curses and other vile things at her. "Witch! Demon woman! Satan's whore! Hell's daughter!" Muriel struggled to get free, but the guards holding her were far too strong. Even if she did break loose, she wouldn't have gotten far with her wrists tied together behind her back. She staggered a few times, but the men kept her on her feet and moving. "There's no question of your guilt, witch," one of them said. "You're tasting the blade this very day." "You were caught seducing the magistrate's only son," the other added. There was no question about her being found with Chardon Capwell. The two of them had been in a state of intimacy when Magistrate Capwell burst into her bedchamber with 2 guards and ordered Muriel to be arrested immediately. Naked, she had been taken to the dungeon and given lashes across her back. What hurt Muriel even more was that Chardon never once stood up for her, in spite of their secret romance. To her, his betrayal hurt even worse than the whip itself. The emotional pain felt heavier when she saw the magistrate and Chardon standing together. Next to them was the very blade the guard mentioned, in the form of a guillotine. The blade was raised all the way to the top. Just in front of it, at the bottom, was a pillow. The guard forced Muriel to climb the steps leading to the platform. They brought her to the podium and forced her to kneel in front of Magistrate Capwell. Everything went quiet, fast. "You stand before me on this Christmas day, Muriel Arkham," he said loudly. "The citizens of the village of Mirren should be home celebrating the birthday of our Lord Jesus Christ. Instead, you force us to deal with you on this day. You were witnessed time and again using magic in the form of your potions. You were even observed seducing my one and only son. It was Chardon himself who chose his soul over allowing you to bring him to hell, whom you serve." "Lies! All lies!" Muriel screamed. Chardon stepped forward and slapped her hand across the face, drawing blood at her mouth. She looked up at him, showing even more pain and hurt at both the injury and his further betrayal. She couldn't hold back any longer and began to cry. "Your tears will not save you, witch," Chardon told her scornfully. "I cannot believe I allowed myself to love you. An evil witch. You nearly claimed my soul for Satan, your lord and master. Let us see if he helps you out of the hand that you have dealt yourself." Muriel raised her teary eyes. "It was you who claimed my heart, Chardon. You made me believe that you truly loved and cared for me, the way I did for you. But you have betrayed me to save face in front of your own father. If you truly mean to end my life, then your betrayal shall not go unpunished." "Be silent, witch!" Magistrate Capwell ordered her. "Or you shall—" He shook his head quickly. "Enough! Place the witch within the guillotine immediately." Muriel's hurt turned to anger. As she was placed within the guillotine, she yelled, "I shall not be silent in what I must say. I have only used my gifts to heal others, but on this 25th of December, I shall use them to curse you, Chardon. Since it was you who betrayed me and wrongfully sent me to the guillotine, I shall curse your lineage. Every son born unto your bloodline from this day forth shall become entangled with a member of my own bloodline. As long as the sun continues to give scorn to the woman of my people that he meets, his fate shall be sealed. From there the Dark Mother herself, the Hellweaver, shall claim his soul, not Satan. By the time Muriel finished her curse, the sky had turned dark. Even though it was a bitterly cold winter day, lightning broke through the sky. Knowing her curse had been both granted and sealed, she faced Chardon one final time, catching his eyes. "It is done," she hissed. "Your fate is sealed, Chardon Capwell. Only when one of your male descendants truly gives his heart to an Arkham woman shall my curse truly end." Chardon turned and went to the executioner. After ordering him away, he took hold of the rope and let go of it without a second thought. The sharp blade fell fast and hit its mark. Red lightning shot downward and struck Magistrate Capwell dead on the spot. Chardon screamed defiantly at the sky as he grabbed the now decapitated head of Muriel Arkham by its long hair and raised it high. "For striking down my father this day, this is what shall become of all of your kind, Dark Mother!" He screamed. Truly, this Christmas Day would be one to remember in the village of Mirren. The new magistrate didn't take his time to mourn the loss of his father. From there, he ordered his new troops into action. He would find and obliterate each and every member of Muriel's coven if it was the last thing he ever did. Present day. Grant Capwell worked in one of the science labs at Strickfield University as he recorded the results of his experiment, which was his final exam for chemistry class. He couldn't wait to be done so he could start the holiday break. When he saw that he was continuing to get his desired results, he knew he had passed the exam. When the professor saw this, he told Grant to finish up and leave. No sooner had he left the classroom than he saw his girlfriend, Spencer Mirren, across the hall. She was easy to identify by the glistening choker she wore around her neck. He went right to her so they could share a few brief kisses. "You finished?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am," he replied. She took his hand. "Then we're out of here until mid-January. Let's go." The two of them left University Hall and moved across the campus. They decided to treat themselves to celebratory holiday drinks at the bitter end at Wilder Hall, the student union building. They walked across the food court there and entered the coffee house. "Can I help you?" A feminine voice called out to them. Spencer gave her order. When she saw that Grant was looking over the flyers on the bulletin board, she bumped his arm. "You ordering?" Grant snapped out of it. Yeah. Then he turned to face the barista. He was about to apologize for not paying attention when his eyes met hers. The barista was the most bewitching young woman he had ever seen. Her long, raven black hair flowed elegantly. Her bright green eyes looked like emeralds that glowed, whether light was present or not. Grant felt his heart pounding fast. "Grant!" Spencer called out again, breaking him out of his gaze. He shook his head quickly and realized where he was. "Sorry, Spence." He took a deep breath and looked at the barista again. Sorry, it's the end of the semester, just getting used to being on holiday break now. He glanced at her name tag. Muriel. That's okay, Muriel replied softly. What can I make for you? A peppermint mocha, please, Grant replied. Spencer went to pay, but Grant stopped her. When he gave Muriel a bill, their hands met. He couldn't help noticing how soft her hand felt. Their eyes met again. Keep the change, Grant stammered. Muriel nodded. Thank you. When she went to make their drinks, Spencer narrowed her eyes on him. Why don't you just ask for her number? Grant rolled his eyes. Oh, come on. He took her hand. You are my girlfriend, Spence. But she wasn't letting him off the hook. You sure you're not imagining the two of us in a threesome together? Grant gawked at her. Jealous, are we? They were both silent. Soon Muriel appeared at the counter again and placed their drinks down. When Grant went to take them, their eyes met yet again. Muriel smiled at him. Have a nice break. Grant wished her the same before he handed Spencer her drink. From there, the two of them left Wilder Hall. Spencer had to straighten out some things with one professor over an exam and said she would meet him later. Grant thought about returning to the bitter end, just to look at Muriel again. But he remembered that Spencer had been his girlfriend since junior high. The two of them had many, many memories together. He decided to hang out at the Strickfield Town Center Mall. At least there he could get more into the Christmas spirit by checking out that amazing winter wonderland that was set up every season. He knew that Harmony Mirren owned the mall and silently complimented her on yet another series of new scenes. Grant looked forward to hanging out at the mall ever since Harmony had taken it over and promoted Christmas year after year. He was looking at an animatronic scene of elves loading up Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were all turning their heads and waiting for the jolly old Kringle himself to get aboard and command them. Rudolph especially was waiting, with his glowing red nose. But what glowed even brighter than Rudolph's nose at that moment were the two green emeralds that stared across the way at him. Muriel, he whispered. The two of them moved to meet each other halfway. She wasn't wearing her apron from the bitter end, but he remembered her outfit. A dark blouse with a miniskirt. On her feet, she wore ankle boots. She still wore the choker with the fire opal around her neck. I can't believe I ran into you twice in one day, Grant managed to say. Right? She replied. So, how are you? Grant and Muriel slowly made their way around the mall, talking about anything and everything. It had never occurred to Grant that he was spending time with another woman. Nor was he thinking of Spencer at all. Or that they were holding hands, fingers interlaced. Grant finally realized this when the two of them went to turn in opposite directions and were suddenly face to face with one another. He found he had his free arm around her back. Her perfume was evident as he stared into those bright green eyes again. The two of them refused to break eye contact. Grant was only dimly aware that his heart was pounding rapidly. His lips were just an inch from hers. and not caring who might see them, Grant kissed her. Muriel kissed him back. It lasted for several minutes before they finally disengaged. He couldn't believe he had just... And he kissed her again. Now they had their arms wrapped around each other. They were completely oblivious to the person who muttered, "Get a room." Grant and Muriel were indeed in a room together, an ancient room. They made passionate love again and again by torchlight. Grant didn't want to stop touching or smelling her, and he couldn't stop his heart from pounding. Neither of them seemed to tire of their lovemaking. Eventually they became exhausted and lay together in the 4-poster bed, falling asleep in each other's arms. Grant woke suddenly and realized he was in his own bed, sweating. Then he realized he had had one of those dreams again after several years, and went to the shower to clean himself up. As he let the water rain down on him, he cursed himself for not being true to Spencer. But she was not there with him at the moment, was she? No, she was staying at her family home in the Mirren gated community. It was no secret that her parents did not approve of Grant, and had even told Spencer she could do so much better. But how? He muttered to himself. Grant kept a 4.0 GPA. He always made good on his grants and scholarships. Sure, he didn't come from money like Spencer's family, which is why he figured her parents looked down on him. But she still always gave him the time of day. She became his girlfriend and the love of his life. But then he met the beautiful Muriel Arkham. "Why can't I stop thinking about you?" he asked her, even though she wasn't there to answer him. Grant finished his shower and grabbed a towel. He went into his bedroom and saw his smartphone was lit up. He grabbed it and saw Muriel. Then he remembered the two of them had exchanged numbers. Grant picked up his phone and saw 3 texts from her. "I can't sleep. You there? Can we talk?" Grant started to type a response. Then he stopped and closed his eyes. "No, I love Spencer. I can't do this." Then he got one more text from Muriel. "I can't stop thinking about you." Without any further restraint, he did Muriel one better and responded by FaceTiming her. There was only a single ring before Muriel's face appeared. "I'm sorry, Grant, but I really can't stop thinking about you. I want to see you again." Grant could have told her why they shouldn't enter into what would be a forbidden affair, but he knew that he desired her just as badly as she did him. "I want to see you too," he conceded. "Where do you live?" "1 sec," she replied. There were no torchlights or 4-poster bed as Grant and Muriel were making heated love. The real Muriel was much better than the one in his burning dream. In Muriel's loft, they could literally feel each other, become each other, experience each other fully. At one point, Grant cried out when Muriel raked her fingernails down his back as she screamed in climax. He wasn't sure if he was bleeding, but he didn't care. He wasn't sure why he was so unbelievably drawn to Muriel. It was almost morning when they finished making love and were resting together. Grant spooned up behind her and was holding her close. They kissed passionately several more times before they finally just held each other and talked. "Stay with me," she beckoned softly. He squeezed her gently. "No, I don't want to go." Eventually, the two of them fell asleep. Grant woke up and knew he was still holding on to Muriel. He prayed to whatever deity might have been listening that what had happened wasn't all another steamy dream. As soon as Muriel's scent filled his nostrils, he knew it was no dream, especially when he felt her warm, silky back against his chest. Grant saw the only thing Muriel wore was the choker with the fire opal. A part of him wanted to remove it so he could kiss her neck there. As he was about to, Muriel moaned softly and turned on to her back. She got out of bed and took his hand, bringing him to her shower, where they would share some more passion together. Even then, Muriel never removed her choker. He thought she looked damn sexy wearing just that, and nothing else. For a brief moment, Grant knew that he had betrayed Spencer, but that thought was driven from his mind as soon as he lost himself in Muriel's embrace again. The pain on his back was evident when Muriel's hands caressed him there. They stopped kissing so she could check him. Grant assured her that he was all right. Then he caressed the side of her face. "I love you," he told her. A tear suddenly shot down her cheek. I love you." Grant shook his head. "What's happening, Muriel? We just met." He held her tenderly, looking deep into her eyes. Caressing her cheek, he asked, "Do you want to stop this?" She shook her head slowly. "No, I feel like I've waited for you forever." He smiled a little. "Funny. I feel the same way." Now he looked sad. "What am I going to tell Spencer?" "You don't have to tell her by yourself," she promised. "We'll talk to her together. If you're really breaking up with her, she should at least know who the other woman is. I don't want to be your mistress." That afternoon, Grant and Muriel really didn't need to explain everything to Spencer. One of her friends had seen the new couple at the mall and taken pictures with their phone. She couldn't send the pics to Spencer fast enough. As for the meeting itself, it didn't go very well. Spencer screamed and swore at Grant, asking him what Muriel suddenly had that she didn't have in the years they had been in their solid relationship together. "What the fuck did I do wrong, Grant? Tell me!" She came at him and started pounding him with her fists. "You owe me that, you bastard!" But Grant couldn't tell her why he was so deeply in love with Muriel, or how she felt the same way for him. Even Muriel didn't seem to know what to tell Spencer. She pushed him away and pointed at Muriel. "Go ahead and keep sleeping with her. I promise you both you'll be sorry." Then she turned and walked away from them, crying and in great emotional pain. Grant wanted to go after her and say something to try and make it right. But who was he kidding? Muriel approached Grant and held him. "I'm sorry. I feel like such a bitch right now." He held her in return and looked into her eyes. I'm just as much to blame here, and I feel rotten too. The two of them never made a move to leave each other, making them both understand that it was just them against the world now. They really didn't have to hide from anyone anymore. If anything, it would make the most sense that Spencer's parents were glad that their daughter wasn't seeing him anymore. It was Christmas Eve when Grant finished moving into Muriel's loft. Now they were again christening the bed they had first consummated their love in. The two of them threw their unbridled passion at one another. This second time was even better than the first. Muriel raked his back yet again during an intense climax. Grant didn't care at all this time. He knew that he would bear anything for Muriel. The two of them fell asleep together after a time, with him spooning up behind her. In a flash, the scenery changed. Instead of Muriel's loft, it looked more like an ancient dungeon, like the dream in the ancient bedroom. The dungeon was lit by torches. Muriel suddenly appeared, but she was in a cell. He himself was outside. Muriel wasn't wearing her choker. She looked hurt and began to cry. "Why?" she choked out. "Why?" Grant uttered. "I don't understand. What is all this?" She shook her head quickly. "Why did you betray me? You came to me when you were greatly ill. I cured you of the disease that was killing you. You vowed you would woo me and win my heart for saving your life. You won my heart and my body. You bedded me many times, saying that you loved me and vowed to marry me. I believed your lies." She came apart. "And you betrayed me." Grant shook his head. But I didn't. Muriel, I truly love you with all my heart and soul." Suddenly, Muriel gasped and brought her hands to her neck. Grant cried out in utter horror as her skin parted all the way around her throat. Then her head fell off and landed on the floor at her feet. Her body fell flat on its back. Now her head was staring right at him, eyes wide open. "You betrayed me," Muriel's disembodied voice echoed. "I shall have your very soul for this." Grant screamed and bolted upright in bed. He screamed again when he felt hands moving around him. "What's wrong?" Upon hearing Muriel's voice, he calmed down and looked at her. Then he grabbed her to him and held her close. "I keep having these dreams," he confided. "It's you and me each time. This last one ended horribly." She embraced him back. "Talk to me." Grant explained his reoccurring nightmares. "Why is this happening, Muriel?" he asked. "Am I damned in some way? Is that what you losing your head meant? You said I betrayed you. I know I betrayed Spencer by taking you as my girlfriend, but..." He sighed. "I'm so scared." They held each other for a long while. Then Muriel said, "I'm here for you, always. I've only known you for a few days, but I feel like I've known you my whole life." "I know. I love you." "And I you," she returned. They separated just long enough to look at each other. Then Grant just blurted it out. "Marry me." She looked at him with wide eyes. "What?" He was about to repeat what he had said, but she slowly raised her hand. "No, I heard you. Could we really get married just like that?" "I really don't understand why I'm having these nightmares. I started having them just after I first met you. I know it was you in the dreams. At the same time, it wasn't you. I remember making love to you in the first dream for sure." Muriel sighed. "My family has a history of witchcraft and magic." "But how did I betray you?" Grant groaned. "That's what I don't understand. Did I do something that caused your death in the nightmare?" Muriel shook her head. "Listen to me, Grant. I'm here for you, and we're living together now." Grant put a gentle hand on the side of her face. "Maybe it is because I betrayed Spencer. Believe me, I'm fully aware I'll have to live with that one. But I promise I'll never betray you. I love you. There. Now I've given you my heart and soul." He looked at her solemnly. "And yeah, I think I do mean it. Marry me. Today." "Today?" she choked. "How?" "Yeah, Grant, I'll marry you. I love you with all my heart. But how do we get married today? It's Christmas Eve. Who's going to conduct a last-minute wedding today?" Grant turned and grabbed his phone. "I do," Grant said, looking into Muriel's eyes. Then the judge spoke to her. "I sure do," she told Grant, looking deep into his eyes as well. The judge pronounced them husband and wife. They kissed each other as the judge witnessed. "You kids were lucky I forgot I left my laptop here last night. Had to drive all the way from Pendleton just to get it," the judge told them. "Besides, it's Christmas. I wasn't going to keep you kids from being happy, if this is what you both really want." Grant and Muriel both thanked the judge again, and then left the courthouse. The judge locked the doors behind them. "Wow, we really did it," Muriel said in disbelief. "I just met you and I married you." "I know," Grant replied, with the same disbelief. Then he took both of her hands in his. "I mean it, Muriel. I won't ever betray you. I love you, and I'll spend every day proving it to you. Again and again." She squeezed his hand. "Then take me home and prove it to me." Grant found himself in the Middle Ages again, only now he was standing on a platform. He couldn't believe he was looking at an actual guillotine. The blade itself was down, and there were splatters of blood, especially on the pillow placed in front of the lethal execution device. "This is what became of me on Christmas so many years ago," Muriel's voice called out to him. Grant turned around and saw her standing before him. "This is what your betrayal meant for me," Muriel said in an eerie voice. "You promised me your heart. I gave you my own, but you chose wealth and prestige over me. You betrayed me, Chardon." Grant noticed the choker around Muriel's neck. Like in the present, it bore the same fire opal. Muriel pointed at him. I cursed all male Capwell descendants on this day. The curse has finally ended because you truly gave your love to another woman from my bloodline." She laughed coldly. "But I do not care. I shall never release you. My rage has transcended my death." Then she swore in a disembodied voice, "You shall die." Muriel withered as she stood in front of him. Then she screamed and lunged. Grant woke up, gasping. Muriel woke as well and turned on the lamp. He turned to her. "I'm still having those dreams." "You're still in them, Muriel. I didn't betray you. I didn't condemn you to die. And my name's not Chardon." Suddenly, the door burst open. Spencer Mirren entered with a shotgun in her hands. "You think I don't know who you really are, Muriel Arkham? You're not the only one with a family that has a history of magic." She looked at Grant. "I know now you didn't betray me yourself. She ensnared you to her." She glared at Muriel. "I'm taking my man back, you bitch." Muriel became angry. "No, I just married him. His everything is mine." Grant couldn't believe he had two women willing to fight for him. Spencer pumped the shotgun. "It's not a guillotine, but it'll take your head off just the same." Muriel took Grant's arm. "You swore you wouldn't betray me. You have to stop her. You have to kill her." At first, Grant hesitated. Then he felt his body move on its own. He shot off the bed and went right at Spencer. He grabbed hold of her shoulders and threw her to the floor. He yanked her back to her feet and struck her down. She hit the floor hard. Spencer moved fast and snatched the gun before Grant could grab hold of her again. She swung the butt and caught him under the chin. "I'm sorry, love, but I have to save you from her." With Grant dazed, Muriel got out of bed. Her hands were claw-like as she glared at Spencer. "His heart is finally mine. It didn't have to be like this. I wanted to let you down easy with the breakup." "It still hurts," Spencer admitted. "Then I'll ease your suffering," Muriel yelled, her hands glowing. "No chance of that," Spencer disagreed. "Not with how much I love him." As Muriel was about to use her magic, Spencer raised her shotgun and shot her in the ribs. Muriel clutched her wound and fell to one knee. Spencer pumped the shotgun and shot Muriel again, in the heart this time. The naked woman fell onto the bed and remained deathly still. Spencer turned to see Grant getting up. "What happened?" He looked up. "Spence?" She dropped the gun and lowered herself to Grant. "I saved you from that witch." When they stood up, Grant grabbed his pants and pulled them on. Then he listened as Spencer explained everything. "I couldn't just let you go," Spencer explained. "Even when my parents told me to. We have too much history together, and I wasn't going to just let you be ensnared by her. I love you, Grant, and I always will." The two of them came together and kissed passionately. When they came apart, Grant noticed Muriel's body. He sat down beside it and unclasped the choker. When it fell to the floor, they watched as the skin began separating around the neck. Soon, Muriel's head fell off her body and landed on the floor with a loud thud. Grant shook his head. "Let's get out of here, Spence." She retrieved her shotgun, and the two of them made their exit. When they entered their room at Strickfield Inn, Grant snatched Spencer's shoulders and began to cry. "I'm so sorry I hurt you." "It wasn't you," Spencer whispered. They found themselves kissing passionately again. When they came apart, she caressed the side of his cheek. "I love you, and I forgive you. I have to. It's Christmas now." Grant saw the clock by the bed, 12:13 a.m. When he turned back to Spencer, he saw her removing her clothes. Then she got into bed. "I'm waiting," she invited him. But Grant hesitated. "I married Muriel." "And after death did you part," Spencer pointed out. "Now, if you want to spend the rest of your life with me, then come here and make love to me." Grant felt like he didn't deserve her, in spite of knowing that Muriel had ensnared him. But he knew he truly loved Spencer and was thankful for this second chance on Christmas. In fact, Grant and Spencer eloped in North Ridgeway before the new year had come. Well, my spookies, that was a Christmas romance. And maybe the snow outside your window looks peaceful right now, but you know better, because in Strickfield, Christmas doesn't end when the lights go out. It lingers, it waits, it watches, and if you listen close enough, you can almost hear the old curses moving under the carols, soft as falling flakes, sharp as a blade. So lock the door, check the window, and if you're sharing your heart tonight, make sure it's really yours to give, because tomorrow we're not doing a cute little ghost story. We have a novella-length nightmare and a surprise return of someone you've missed for all the wrong reasons. The Angel of Death. A snow-choked highway, a neon green fire that shouldn't exist, and a thing that won't stay dead. And the kind of Christmas Eve that turns your hometown into a crime scene. So subscribe and come back here tomorrow to hear it all. And an extra special thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters, folks who pay just a little bit more at weeklyspooky.com/join to support the show and hear their name at the end of it. They are Johnny Nix, Kate and Lulu, Jessica Fuller, Mike Eschewey, Jenny Green, Amber Hansford, Karen Weemet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. Thank you guys so much, and if you want to hear your name at the end of the show, just head to weeklyspooky.com/join and sign up at $15 a month or higher. You'll get the 2 monthly bonus episodes, you'll get over 5 years of creepypasta and audiobooks, and my undying gratitude. weeklyspooky.com/join. But now, my spookies, I gotta get back to work because a whole novella will not record itself, especially not if you're going to unwrap it tomorrow. So for myself, for my executive producers Rob Fields and Bobbletopia.com, my producer Dan Wilder, and of course my creepy composer Ray Mattis, I'll talk at you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to find your way back next week. But for now, you are safe. Trust me.